So, the fifth best graduate of today, ladies and gentlemen. Her name, Aska Nadim, and she's the best graduate of the Faculty of Electrical Engineering, Mathematics and Computer Sciences. Aska, please come on stage. Dr. Verweg, how did Aska approach the mentorship collaboration during graduation?
Yeah, so in our collaboration, what was really important to Aska was our mutual trust, which means that Aska, she was not afraid to disagree with me. So we had meetings, and then instead of what normal master students do, they agree with me and they do whatever I tell them, right? Aska did something completely different. It went her own way, and in doing so, she managed to get results that I would not have gotten myself. So I learned a lot from Aska.
Nice. Sounds good. Nice. Professor Huben, what makes Aska the 2019 best graduate of your faculty?
Well, when in the faculty we selected amongst all the 6 master programs, she stood out. Not just for her grades, 9.5 for the thesis, grade point average, but also for the subject she chose and how she executed it. It's a subject from cybersecurity in responsible artificial intelligence, responsible computer science, where students like her, but also teachers like Sikko, work together on how scientists studying the technology, engineers developing the technology, and humans using technology act responsibly. And the way she did this, and I think you will see this in a minute, that is really something that makes other students follow. So she's already a leader, she's a role model, and she deserves the title.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you for these nice words. It's an applause already. Aska, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Yeah? Okay, the floor is yours. Ladies and gentlemen, Aska Nadim.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Let me just start with a question. I guess almost everyone here either has a laptop or a smartphone, right? And maybe one day you were browsing the internet and your device started running slower than usual. Or maybe some weird advertisements started popping up. Well, I hate to break it to you, but your device has been infected with malware. And you're not the only one. Security companies report detecting thousands, if not millions, of malware samples every single day. And it's a security analyst's job to figure out which of these samples are similar so that if they can catch one, they can catch the others. So they're really interested in questions like whether the malware steals passwords, or if it installs some spyware on your computer. If it communicates with someone on the internet, who does it talk to, and what exactly do they talk about? Well, turns out these are really difficult questions to answer. I mean, imagine you're a malware analyst, and you receive a piece of malware to analyze. What are you going to do? Well, one thing you can do is use one of the top-notch tools available that will bombard you with all of these logs. Now, good luck trying to find any patterns out of this and figuring out what the malware is actually doing. With any luck, it can take you days and even weeks to completely understand what a piece of malware is doing. And now imagine receiving thousands of samples every day. This obviously does not scale. And one thing that personally bothers me is how easy it is for an attacker to make a small change in the malware that makes it look different, while the malware analysts would spend hours trying to figure out what this seemingly new piece of malware does. So during my thesis, I set out on a journey to find ways in which we can use machine learning to automate the process of analyzing malware, understanding its capabilities, and finding ways to stop it. Now, malware analysts can have access to a lot of interesting data. And one simple way to figure out what a piece of malware is doing is to see who it talks to and what exactly they talk about. But the problem is, this is privacy intrusive, because not all of this data is malicious. In fact, only a small fraction of the data is malicious, while the rest is benign, that can come from your personal software and that can contain your personal information. And well, I'm not the government agencies, right? I'm not the NSA, so I don't really want to use your personal information. So now what I'm left with are these seemingly meaningless numbers, and the biggest challenge of my thesis was to figure out if I can still infer what action it is from these numbers. Well, turns out, if you put these numbers together, a pattern starts to emerge which is actually indicative of the action. It's sort of like if two people have a covert meeting, some money is exchanged between them, and a person ends up dead. Even if you don't know what they talked about or how much money was exchanged, just from the order of events, you can sort of infer what might have happened, right? So, we learned these patterns using machine learning algorithms. But the next biggest challenge was explainability. We want the malware analysts to be able to understand exactly what is going on so they can learn from the process. So during the 9 months, I experimented with a number of different alternatives to come up with the optimal pipeline that was both understandable and does not invade privacy. We also visualize the results using graphical representations that make it much easier to spot exactly which action was captured. So just to give you an example, from a dataset of real-world malware samples, we found two seemingly unrelated pieces of malware, but our method suggested that they were behaving very similarly. And upon deeper analysis, we actually found that the malwares were being contacted by the same command and control server. Now, this could either mean that the same attacker controls both these families, in which case, if we stop one, we automatically stop the other, or a simpler explanation can be that these names are simply wrong and that they actually belong to the same family. Either way, this is very valuable information that security companies just didn't have before. We can also find device scanning behaviors that happen before an attack even takes place. And my method can even find randomized, more sophisticated versions of the attack with much ease. So what does it mean for malware analysts? Well, it means that they can now analyze a piece of malware not in a matter of weeks, but in a matter of minutes. So this saves more of their time to make the internet a safer place for all of us. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank
That's
you.
good.
Thank you.
Nice. Aska,
Yes.
I read your job perfectly combines the two things you love.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Can you tell us?
So after I graduated, my dream job is to become a teacher. And in our faculty, we had a new position opening up which combines teaching and research in a 6-year PhD, so 2 years teaching and 4 years research. And that's what I do now.
Nice.
Yeah.
You enjoy it.
Yeah, love it.
Applause. That's what we need in the future. Gentlemen, it's up to you. You know the drill. A step forward. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 best graduate of the Faculty of Electrical Engineering, Mathematics and Computer Sciences, Aska Nadim.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done.